All right, transmission oil fill and reassembly part one. The interesting bit about this session was filling the transmission oil. So it went pretty much as I had hoped and predicted. I basically undid the fill bolt and took it out. I ended up not cutting the hole in the heat shielding to the driver's footwell. I did it pretty much all from just under the car. And then I bought a 3/8 inch clear tubing that I threaded in from the top of the engine bay. I think you can do this even with all the hoses. You just need to get the tubing down to the rough area where the fill hole is. And then if you can go under the car and tuck the tubing into the hole. Now you want to make sure you tuck the tubing a good ways in because if you don't, what happened with me was as I was filling so you put a funnel at the top of the hose and then you fill it with transmission oil and it goes in. I didn't tuck it all the way in good the first time, and I started seeing just tiny drips of oil come out already, and that might trick you into thinking that the oil is completely filled. It started dripping at around, I think I filled it around 500 milliliters, and it started dripping. I thought, oh, that seems a little bit low. So I took a look, I took the tubing out, and I checked the fill level with my finger, and it didn't seem like it was filled all that high. So I put the tubing back in. This time I tucked it in more, and it stopped dripping as I filled more oil. So really, you want to tuck it in good and fill it until like you get a good glob, a good stream of oil coming out of the fill hole before you know that it's fully filled. I think I ended up using about 1.6 liters or so of oil. I used a full liter, and then I had about 600 milliliters left in another container. Um, so I think probably the right amount is about 1.5 because the amount of oil that came out was probably maybe 100 or 200 milliliters. Then you just pull the hose out, and then you tighten up the fill hole. Make sure you don't tighten it too much in case you need to open it in the future to change out the oil. Um, if you can't get it if you can't get it loosened, you will probably have to pull out the entire transmission in order to fill the transmission oil. And then the rest of the session was just reassembling parts back onto the engine. So I did the starter motor and I torqued it. And then I also plugged in the oil pressure sender back in. I redid the power lines to the starter, the grounding cable from the engine, I think. And then I replaced the timing belt onto the engine. And then I also did the radiator, attached the radiator back to the chassis, and then I did all three of the oil pipes between the radiator, the dry sump, and the engine. The oil pipes are kind of tricky, again, as they were the first time. And it seemed like my routing is a little bit different this time because of the way the pipes bent were a little bit different. I think it'll still work fine, but I don't think I got the original routing. Um, I'm hoping one more session, maybe two more, and the car will be back to being able to be started. So we will see.